Oh, it's feeling so good out there at the moment. BTC is just pushing so nicely. We're hitting a little bit of resistance here, and we saw these meme coins started flying. A lot of us were speculating, were we going to move from AI into gaming? Where was it going to go? And these degens came, and they started pumping all these meme coins. So keen to see the guys in the chats, what you guys got your hands on. But today we're looking at a couple of things. I mean, this market's been ripping now, and we're looking potentially a couple of lagging altcoins as well. I've also got ETH versus BTC looking like it's time for a bounce. Is it time to unlock some more fury on some of these altcoins? Guys, we got so much to talk about. A big show today. Let's get into this. Feels like just the other day it was green, and here we are again. Theta 36%, BONK is cooking, PYTH is cooking. There was a listing on Upbit for PYTH. We did catch that trade in the Sniper Club the other day, and that has been hot for us. Look at the dust coins are coming alive. BCH, Doge is there, XRP, things are looking so good. Let's just quickly tackle the current BTC situation, and then we're going to start getting into the real juice. But here we are, BTC 4 hour, and the way we like it, pumping. Currently looking at a little bit of resistance. This is a fib. I'm going to show you on the bigger picture plan just now, but again, perfect reaction off this fib, and it's like clockwork, these fibs. It's all you need in your life, really. And another reaction here at a fib for BTC, a reaction zone, a rejection zone, all these types of things, and you need to get these on your chart. So right now, resistance we're watching today, 57,600. This is a big area for BTC, and it unlocks the code, it unlocks the gate for all-time highs. Are we going to break that gate open, or are we going to fight around this for a little while? But that is going to be our secret. That's going to be our key. And then hot zones for us to watch. Just very simple fib pools. We look for fib tie-ins with some of these horizontals in place, and we want to just get these levels. So pullback zone, hot pullback zone, the 236 fib, that's our most bullish fib that we're looking at, 55,985. That is a big pullback area for us. That's an area we really want to hold as bulls, a light little BTC pullback. If they do want to come for us and they want to start bringing a little bit of pain, we're looking at 54,940. That is your next big zone for BTC. Don't really want to go much darker than that, because then we're going to be feeling the burn. So right now, let's just enjoy the moment. Let's enjoy a little bit of a BTC range, and maybe we're going to get what we want out of this current ETH situation. I see Ray is also there. He's sitting in the dark again with his special goggle, and maybe he's got load shedding in there. Not sure what's going on. Guys, I did manage to fix my sound. So those of you in the chats, I've got a real treat for you. I finally sorted out the right level of bullhorn, and I think it's appropriate to also hit us with a whip, just in case you were wondering. So our soundboard is active, we are cooking, and the bull market is here. How are you guys feeling in the chats? Let's see, how is everybody going here? Arca's here, Dimitri's in here saying DYOR, Lou is here, Dave K, he's saying let's play with the fun bags. I'm always ready to play with those fun bags, bro. Let's see what else we got here. CJ's in town. Ronald is still got a hangover from Spoody. He's talking about Spoody. Farah's here. Okay, guys, there is a poll running at the moment for you in the chats. I've just dumped a couple of coins in there. Let me know which ones you want to chart. The top two I will get going for you guys today. And then I did get a special request from somebody on Twitter. They asked me to chart MAVIA for them, so I'm going to cover that as well. So let's get into some of the action. Just a nice little note. You've probably seen this floating around the internet today, but it's nice. Bitcoin's now just hit the top 10 assets by market cap in the world. I mean, look at gold. You can see gold number one, 13 trillion, and BTC is now just over the 1 trillion mark, and it's back in the top 10. It's almost time for uncles and aunts and grandparents to start talking about Bitcoin again at the table, and asking you the questions, what is one crypto worth, and all those things. So get ready for those answers. We've got Citi saying the S&P 500 is not in a bubble. Okay, if that's not a top sign, I don't know what is. But they're telling their investors to buy all the pullbacks. So we'll save this message. We'll see how that works out. But right now they are feeling pretty bullish on the market as a whole. So that is looking pretty strong. And as far as the fear and greed index goes, for those of you that are new new here. There's been a fear and greed index for Bitcoin floating around for many years, probably I would say 8-9 years floating around. It's a fear and greed market. It's basically telling you how greedy you are and how much leverage you're using and how you're buying all these tokens and you're not taking profits. And always use this as a nice little gauge for yourself when you are feeling a bit euphoric and you're showing everyone how much money you're making. Keep your eyes on this fear and greed index. When this thing starts pushing the green numbers and we start going deeper, and right now we are at extreme greed, that is often a time where we could potentially get a little flush out in the market just to clean out some of these leverage longs and you know, a little bit of the fluff in the market. So eyes on that. And my little coin glass liquidation heat map that I love using so much. As you can see, we've taken out so many shorts, and the bears are getting scared. I mean, those bears got absolutely rinsed and liquidated and slapped around and all those things yesterday. They were dealt with decisively. And as you can see, the shorts are now getting smaller and smaller, and the longs have obviously piled up. So we got to keep our eyes on this. We need to understand that you know, if they want to come liquidate, they normally want to chase the area where it's fat and juicy and things like that. So let's keep our eyes on this liquidation heat map down to about 51,300. That's really what we're going to be watching as far as this is concerned. But if they do start pushing, there's a little bit of juice for them, about 300 million that they can liquidate quickly for a little push higher up. So eyes on this liquidation heat map, and then bigger picture. This is where we are. These are the floodgates right now. Let's just look at the story. What has happened here on this BTC weekly chart? And you can see this 382 was our first fib, our first bounce fib that we were looking at. And you can see there was a big argument in this area. Took a couple of weeks while it hung around. Then we had our 618, which was our next fib. We had that major rejection on that ETF day, pushed us down. What did they do? Come back, little fight for a couple of weeks. Now we back up at the 786. This is our next fib. This is our next major area for BTC. I would expect some kind of consolidation in this area, hopefully not a major rejection like on the ETF news off that 618, but what ideally I'd like to see is just some kind of consolidation in this area, anywhere around there, and just free up these alts a little bit. But you know, it's very sort of simple to say that it makes sense to get some kind of reaction in the zone, and we might not blow through this immediately. Obviously, we'd like that. It would be lovely. But this is a level we need to be watching. I see IX is saying PYTH is reloading its guns. It's going to rip so badly. That PYTH was so beautiful. I took some profits on my PYTH. I've kept half of it open. I'm going to show you guys my trades now on 2bit. And I see there was a listing on UpBit. So we're going to talk about that one shortly. Okay, who else is hanging out here? Where's the crew? Where's the crew? Where's the crew? Arca Bolino is in here shouting billions. BB says, give me your gold. Michael is in Amsterdam. And yeah, the crew is here. Cornholio says, I'm drawing obscene things. Look, we're just trying to draw pretty pictures. We want to send this stuff up as high as we can. Chaos is here. He's obviously in France. He's saying bonjour. So yeah, let's see. Let's get stuck into this current situation. So another note from Stock Money Lizards. I like following these guys. They say knock knock. Who is there? Altcoin season. So follow these guys. They got a nice little picture here showing how altcoin season works, and a very interesting comment, guys. And if you've been around in the last bull run, you'll understand what he's saying. The most difficult thing in the near future will be to realize profits and not lose everything again. Are you going to be a statistic here, or are you going to actually take profits when these things pump? Are you going to exit, and are you going to have the discipline to hold on to those profits without throwing it back and leveraging it 10 times and then getting rinsed out? So just think about that, and think about that hard. Remember, leverage trading can't be your only strategy in crypto. You're going to come short if that is your only strategy. Remember, this market gives you 20% flush outs, but it gives you those 20% moves upside. Just make sure along your journey you are buying spot, you are got low margin risk trades, you are doing all the other aspects of crypto like airdrops and all those things, and leverage trading is one aspect of it. You don't want leverage trading to be your only strategy. We use that for these big moves. We take some profits and then we book them and we stick them back into spot bags. And remember, you buy your bags for your wives, you buy handbags for your wives, those type of things. Those are the bags that you're going to be buying. Okay, let's look at ETH BTC. This is ETH BTC on the weekly, and right now this is the perfect retest we are looking for. So we saw this ETH strength last week pushing up nice and high, and we are looking for that retest. What happens after a trend break? So often we get a pullback, we get a retest, and now ETH BTC has pulled back into a hot zone. We got the 200-day moving average, 50-day moving average, trend line, and the 200-week moving average. If it's going to drop through here, it's going to put me in a bad mood, put it that way. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a bounce zone for us right here, anywhere in this region down to this 50-day moving average. If we get a bounce here, that's more than likely going to show us ETH strength. It's going to show us alt strength, and we're going to get some action. So right now I'm looking for some kind of reaction in the zone imminently, for a little alt pump or something along those lines. Let's look at ETH at the moment, and again tracking up currently to our 618 target, and I'm looking at this 3 level. Eyes are locked and loaded here for this target. I am going to be TPing my trade, which I've been in from it was 2,290. Okay, so that I got it right here at the bottom of this trend. For me, that was my original target zone. So I'm going to be TPing something there off my current ETH trade. So we're just going to watch and let it tick higher. We do know some of the guys are targeting 4,000 and bigger numbers as well. But just again, be disciplined, identify hot zones, identify your reaction areas, and make sure you are clipping profits along the way. You don't want a situation where they come back and they come for you, and they come and wipe you guys out with a 20% pullback there. Okay, let's go. What have we got here? Okay, so this is an interesting comment. David Gockstein, he says, when Doge starts running, that's when you know you are about to take off. So, you know, they're putting us in a position here where we got to start looking at some of these dust coins. And I tell you what, Doge is starting to look a little bit spicy here. And yeah, it's looking very longy, put it this way. So this is Doge on the 3-day that I'm watching right now. And it's starting to look like we're going to get some kind of action out of Doge. So I just want to give you the trading plan for Doge and how you're going to play it if you are interested in this. So Doge is breaking this 3-day trend. It's a massive trend. This is sitting from 31st of October 22. And what are we looking for here? We're looking for a push from Doge into this horizontal and the 200-week moving average, then that little nice little pullback, and then pump time for us on Doge. So right now there is an imminent move coming for Doge to 0.10329. It looks like it's going to be on here for us. What I would say is look out for this reaction at the horizontal. That's where you need to watch. We could expect some kind of resistance, some kind of rejection in this area. I'll tell you why. It's a 3-day resistance zone. You can see they've pinged it every time. And one more time, I would expect a reaction now, especially because we've got the 200-day moving average coming into play here for Doge. So eyes on Doge at the moment, but there is a setup building right now. If you are trying to jump in, just remember that's a big, thick daily candle, 3-day candle that you're dealing with. So your support is a little bit lower down. So ideally, your entries are going to be on any retests into these zones. We want to confirm that that support is valid, and we want to confirm that that support is holding. So ideally, if you want to be full size into your position, you always want to wait for that retest. Nothing wrong with slowly scaling in if you feel something is going to be moving, but remember, keep your risk down. And the real test comes when the squeeze happens and they come back and they give you that retest. That's the real buy zone. So a little bit of patience here for Doge, but it looks like we're going to get a move. And if we blow that horizontal, well, then things are going to be cooking for us, and we are pushing anything up to about 0.15 is an interesting target for us. So if these dust coins are going to start running, Doge has got to be on your list. And I've got another one here for you guys that could be of interest. XRP, the dustiest coin in history, the one I rip off all the time. And Uncle Run just came into my office and he's like, I just told everyone how crap XRP is. And I said, well, it's funny because XRP is trying to blow the 200-day moving average. So I just want to give you guys another trading plan for XRP for any dust coiners out there and anyone who's interested in XRP. This is the current plan, and it's going to look very similar to that Doge setup. So if we do get this pop here off this 200-week moving average, I'm going to expect some kind of rejection in this area. But the real test for us on XRP is going to be that retest and that buy when the 200-day and the 200-week MA becomes our support. That's going to give us our move. So eyes on XRP right now, and I'm going to show you my current situation. I've opened a small XRP position in Prime XBT, and I've just opened it now. You can see we are hovering around this 200-day moving average. My current trade in here at the moment is Solana that I've got running, and this small XRP. So I'm just testing the waters here. I want to see if we can hold this 200-day moving average, and if it starts flying, then we can obviously add to it, and on that retest we can really then start pressing on XRP. So if you're interested in Prime XBT, there is a opportunity to take advantage of their offer in the description of the show. Here it is. They're giving you a 7% sign up bonus here for Prime XBT, so you can take advantage of that, and whatever you deposit into your account up to I think it was up to $10,000, they can give you a 7% sign up bonus there on that. Or in fact, it's up to $100,000. They'll give you a 7% sign up bonus that you guys can trade with. So that is my current situation on Prime XBT. Dust coinery at its finest, absolute finest. Right, and now I've got a lagger. I've got a lagging coin that I think could be giving us something, and I took it off Kyle's list as well. He posted a nice little list here of charts. He's saying waiting on these altcoins to move next. So this is 𝗘𝗘𝗘𝗟𝗟, you know him. He was on my show last week, and one of the tokens he's speaking about here is Celestia TIA, and it's funny enough, it's been one of the absolute laggers. And I've had my eyes on this Celestia. Remember, we had some great moments on Celestia not too long ago, a couple of months ago, and here it is slowly drifting into a second potential entry box. So I've started laddering in a little bit higher into a Celestia position here. My thinking behind that was I wanted to front run any pump of this 50-day moving average. I wanted to take advantage of a move above this 50-day moving average. As you can see here, I've got this 50-day moving average running through here as a little bit of resistance here. I've started a tiny position on Celestia. What I also like about it right now is the fact that it's still holding the current daily and weekly pivot using easy algo. And right now, no reason for me to look for exits. For me, I'm looking for more buys in this entry box down here on Celestia. Here comes Uncle.
When all-time high, people. When all-time high.
It's soon. It's around the corner. I've just told them how shit.
Soon, eh?
I just told them how shit you think XRP is.
I mean, watch my show. Watch my show today. Watch my show today.
I will.
I mean, why hold XRP when you can hold all these new shiny objects?
We don't have to hold it. We're just gonna trade it. We're just gonna trade it. We're just gonna trade it. He's disgusted in my behavior here with this XRP, and you know, rightly so. It is a dust coin. It's an absolute dust coin. But if it's going to give us something, we're going to trade it. Right, let's get back to where's my Celestia. Okay, here it is. Okay, so what I like about Celestia, things I like: moving into a potential entry zone, moving into the lows from yesterday. So it's a very easy play for me, and it's a very neat, clean exit. So if we are wrong, what we do is we can exit under the daily low or the previous low from Tuesday. So that would be a nice little marker for us where we can play with Celestia. So if this trade is going to be invalidated, it means the candle is closing under the previous low and things are looking relatively bearish then. So this is the low we're going to keep our eyes on. The deeper you get your entry, the tighter your stop. And I'm looking at around about 1.7% from the middle of this entry box. So if you do get a dip into this entry box, anything around a 1.5% could be a potential exit zone. If you want to hang on to the trade a little bit longer and we are overall bullish on the market, you can look at this next region over here at 16.16 as your next potential area. But Celestia has been very quiet and a little bit puzzling, including you know, some of the research guys talking about it earlier. A little bit puzzling why there hasn't been a little bit of action here on Celestia. So here is my current Celestia trade. I've opened it in 2-bit. Let's just take a look here. Here it is at the moment. So it's a little bit red at the moment. We're going to see how it goes. So you know my cut area and where I'm going to bail on that one. So we'll let it play out. Here's the current PYTH trade that I'm in. I did cut half of that position. I did bank some profits earlier this morning. And here's the Matic trade that I've been sitting in. That is still going. It fluctuates between this $3,000 level and about $4,500. It's needs to make up its mind here at the moment, but not quite ready for TP yet for me on Matic. I've been trying to grow that one and keep it going. And then another big one I've got here is Injective, which is looking very interesting as well. So it's broken some key levels for us, and I want to show you why I think it now has great support at this 35 level, and I think it's destined for bigger things. As long as this market stays bullish, I think Injective is going to be a big mover for us. So the first thing I want to point out for you, if you are trading Injective, things you need to look out for: the 618 support we've got the 50-day moving average that's locked in at 35.6. Then we've got our horizontals at play as well in this region, so it's telling us we've got a really strong support zone. And then the cherry on top for me right now is I'm going to click easy algo, and I want to show you the size of this weekly pivot. Now, you guys have seen the response we get on these tokens once they blow through these weekly pivots. And Injective has done exactly the same thing for us. It's broken through, it's come back, it's retested the weekly pivot, and it has sent itself one more time off this level. So this is why I think this is great support for Injective. If we lose that area, I would say the market is under pressure. Things aren't looking that good in general out there. So big support zone for me for Injective. Let's look at some targets and areas of interest. So we saw this, we actually saw this on CAS. It had a similar setup at one point. CAS had two key levels and two resistance areas that it was watching. And our first trade on CAS was just to the highs of a range that looked very similar to this. And after it broke through that area, it really took off. So I would say look out Injective into this resistance zone. 39, that is a big area that we need to pay attention to. But once we blow that region, then we are looking at much bigger things here. We're going to just look for a little bit of consolidation, and then we're going to look for that push into about 44. So that's going to be our next big target. And then after that, we're chasing all-time highs, and we'll be banging the bull once it does that, if it does that. And you know, if the market falls over, well, I hope Thomas is going to make me a bear sound. I don't even know what a bear sounds like, but we might need a bear sound if things start falling over on us here. Okay, Super Bowl says, what are your thoughts on WIF? So I took profits on WIF. I closed that trade in full this morning. That thing was absolutely flying. We caught that one in Sniper Club in the private Zoom on Sunday. So I just took profits at, I mean, I think it did a 30 or 40% move. And I'm just going to sit around and wait. We'll look for consolidation. Remember, these meme coins, they always give you more opportunities. So, you know, if you lose, you lose out a bit of profit here and there, but the next opportunity always comes. So just be a little bit patient with those things. I see Brad Pitt is in the house, and he says Injective is going to move today. Ferdy says Link looks promising. Yeah, I've seen Link is pushing into a trend on the 8 hour. Brad Pitt says XRP is ass. I actually agree it's ass, but I can't stop looking at it when it starts popping the 200-week moving average. I've got to pay attention. You know, we got to do it. Dylan, get chimpy, says Dylan, showing the hamburger meat with a button up. Jockey says, who was that guy that burst in? That was the boss. That was the boss. That's Uncle Run. Okay, RUNE, yes. Paul is asking for RUNE. I've got the RUNE setup. So this is another one that is interesting to me, and it's got to be related to BTC strength. So this is the strategy, and this is the plan for RUNE. So now remember, I explained this to you with that Metis trade. Sometimes we have to wait for a token to be higher to be long. And I know it's counterintuitive, but sometimes you have to be patient. You need to let these tokens break certain areas and buy them at a higher price if you want to trade them and be long on them. So right now, here's the strategy for RUNE, and it's starting to set up for something very interesting, but the entry is not ready yet. We are not there yet for RUNE, so we need to let it play out a little bit. So the strategy on these type of trades is we need to break key areas first. Then we need to confirm that there is support in that region. So that is why I've drawn the arrows the way I have. So what you're going to watch here for RUNE is some horizontal resistance. This is in play at the moment, okay, and you can see it's reacting right now at this horizontal resistance area right here in this region. So what we want to see as bulls, we want to see this horizontal resistance pierced. We want it broken. We want it a squeeze, because you no doubt are going to have people shorting in this area. You generally then, after you get a pop, you get a reaction at your next resistance area, or you get a reaction at a high at some kind of horizontal, and then you no doubt, or quite often, you get a pullback onto that horizontal, and that is the retest, and that is your buy zone. So if you are buying RUNE now, you are buying RUNE into a resistance area, so it's quite risky. Obviously, what you want to do, let it pop higher, then let it pull back. That's when we get our buys, exactly the way we played that Metas trade. So keep your eyes on RUNE, get it on your watch list. We know RUNE hasn't been that strong of late, and it's probably due another RUNE pump. So let's keep our eyes on this. Get it on your watch list. So 𝗬𝗘𝗘𝗘 says XRP is the walking dead. I agree. It's the dustiest coin in history. And I mean Doge, you know what I mean? Doge dust coin. Ripple Muncher says Filecoin looking good. Dimitri's talking about Welsh. Yes, Welsh is the dog on Bitcoin. That is one of my favorite meme coins at the moment. So I've just been buying WIF every now and again, and just trying to build a nice size position on this WIF. Got to listen to Gustavo. He is the degen in the house. He's the degen researcher. And if he tells me to buy WIF, not WIF. If he tells me to buy Welsh, I'm buying Welsh. So that is the plan. Michael says dust coins, lol. There's no other word for them. They're literal dust coins, these old things. But sometimes they do give us some action. Okay, let's close some of these windows here. Okay, so you've got the plan for RUNE, and here's another idea. Okay, so here's a BRC20 play, ORDIs, and BTC strength. This is now of interest to us. So Sniper Club got an ORDI long on Sunday night. We took an ORDI long in this region here, and it seems to be moving quite nicely. But what has happened to ORDI? Why is this interesting to me now? Well, it's broken into the old range. Okay, so you can see we had this nice little range area of interest here, and we lost it. Now we've pushed up, we've come back down, and we are testing the lows of this old range. So there could be a little scalp here in play for ORDIs. So you could start nibbling at a little ORDIs position with the intention that this thing might drift a little bit lower and then just kick on higher and ride it to this range high at around about 73. So that is really what you're going to be targeting. If it's going to hold this range, this is pretty much the area of interest that you want to see it hold. We've got a 382 fib bringing in some support here for you as well. So we'd expect some kind of reaction off this 382 fib. Absolute worst case, maybe a dip into this 50-day moving average, a little bit lower, but I don't want to see much lower than that if we are going to push back and hold this range. So look out, maybe they want to try and squeeze you onto this 50-day moving average, but I would expect with the current conditions that this 50-day MA should hold for us on ORDI. So right now, I like a long for ORDI in this region, and we could look at, let's look at the size of this, about a 9% move to range high, and then once we start breaking those areas, then obviously anything can happen, and things could get a little bit more spicy. So eyes on that, and you could run a stop anything from about 1.5% down to, if you want to lose the 50-day MA, that's a bit deeper. That's about 3.9% that you're looking at the moment. So just manage your risk. If you're trading spot, obviously life's a lot simpler. If you're trading leverage, remember, multiply the size of your stop by your leverage, and that's the amount of deep burn, and that's the amount of pain you feel if you get stopped out. And a key lesson always, guys, and there's probably a lot of new traders here as well, waking up to this current bull market, and you're playing around with leverage and all of those things. Just remember, often in a bull market you can get away with small positions, big move. Don't hype your leverage up. Don't go out the gates with 20x leverage, 30x leverage. It's only going to end badly. So what I can advise is from a seasoned leverage trader, and I've been wrecked many times, and I've experienced this many times, is if you're starting your position, start a lot smaller, small position, big move. If you're in a bull run, we're getting these moves. There's no rush, there's no urgency. If things are ripping and they're moving upwards, you're going to make your money. Just build your positions slowly. You don't have to jump out of the gates immediately and start feeling that pain on your first day, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you like that, Ray. You like that, Ray. Ray likes it. Okay, let's not get wrecked. Okay, on our first day. Lou says render losing legs still. Okay, so this is typical. We had all these AI tokens pumping. Where did they rotate to? That turns out they rotated to the meme coins. And if there's market weakness now, you would have seen the AI tokens bled a little bit. And now if the market weakness comes, they're going to bleed even more. So just watch your next levels for all of those AI tokens. Okay, let's go let's talk PYTH. Okay, so there was an Upbid listing. So for those of you that don't know, when Upbid lists these tokens, for some reason they always pump, but I mean dramatically pump. And we've seen that, I mean, countless times. You get 20, 30, 40% moves from these altcoins when they list tokens, and they listed or they announced that they were listing PYTH. Now we have been bullish on PYTH on this channel for absolute months, and there's a massive staking narrative behind PYTH. We're talking 100 airdrops and all these types of things around the PYTH narrative. So people are locking up their PYTH in the epochs for 7 days, and there's generally been a bullish cycle here with PYTH pushing higher. So it was an extra little boost with this Upbid listing. But now, interesting to note, you know, where we're going to be. Where's PYTH going to bounce after that news pump? And I would like to think it's going to hold some key areas. So I've marked some levels here for you if you are in PYTH. So like I said, I've taken half of my PYTH. I've closed that position because of the size of this pump that we got. And, you know, might look to add if we move into these hot zones. So the first hot zone that I'm looking at for PYTH is the 0.677. So this could be an interesting reaction zone. This could be an interesting bounce zone for us for PYTH. And then our next hot zone is obviously the horizontal tied in with the 618. And that is what we're looking at 0.64. So this is your next potential hot zone for PYTH. And then you can work them out. It's pretty easy to work these areas out. You look for confluence where you get your horizontals tying in with your fibs, and you can quite easily identify all your important levels. The 786 is always your last gasp. That is your desperados. When you're feeling absolute desperados, that is your last bounce zone. That's 786 and horizontal. But bullish bounce areas, you generally want to go 382. You generally want to go 618. And in this particular case, this is a horizontal tied in with a 0.5. Now remember, a 0.5 isn't actually a Fibonacci number, but it's just half a retrace. So let's just add this in for you. It's a 0.5. Okay, so there it is, tied in with that horizontal region. So that's how you identify your hot zones, your hot reaction areas for some of these tokens. So nice little first zone here for PYTH. This 0.67 to 0.68. Next region 0.64 is nice, and then literally desperados. Your account is bleeding out. You're absolutely shitting yourself. Bounce at 0.59. That is the next area where you're going to get some kind of reaction. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Ganesh says short pullback. What else? There's questions for Sui. Let's see. Let's look at our poll. Let's see what you guys are talking about in the poll here. Okay, so it looks like most of you guys want Say and Cass. So I'm happy to do Say and Cass. We haven't charted those in a while. Let's just jump onto the next one. Okay, so yeah, I see we're getting a little reaction here on ORDI. So let's see how that goes. But so far there is something happening here at the moment. Just remember, keep your stops nice and tight. You're looking at about a 1.5% a year for that region. If it is going to start melting down, eyes on dominance, eyes on BTC, obviously. Okay, let's look at Uniswap. So this started some fun for us last week, and we got about a 60% pump. I never thought I would ever see Uniswap pumping 60%. And the team is now, teasing us. They're saying the team is cooking this week. T-1 day. Okay. Does that mean there's an announcement coming on Uniswap? Is something going to be happening there? Is there a potential entry? Are we going to get another pump on Uni? So the first thing you want to do is just try and identify on the weekly, where are we in the bigger picture with Uniswap? What is the actual story if we zoom out? So the first thing you want to do is identify where's your resistance zones, and you can see it's pinged perfectly into a weekly resistance area. I mean, this is just absolute perfection here, how they sent it up here and rejected it so nicely in that zone. So common sense, if you look at this, common sense tells me we should get some kind of pullback on Uni into this 9.5 region. So anywhere around 9.5, if we look at these weekly levels and we look at this 382, we're looking at around a 9.5 region. But the next question is, if things are so super bullish and they might be coming out with some kind of announcement and things like that, we need a plan B. We need a backup plan. How do we take advantage of one of these tokens, if we're zooming in, how do we get stuck into these? How do we play these moves? So the first thing you can do is start pulling a trend and start looking at horizontal supports, and you can start working off those type of areas. So the first thing you can do is pull a trend here on UNI, and you can see what's going on. They've pinged this region once already. They've pinged it twice, and you want to be watching horizontals and trends. So mark out some horizontal areas of interest. You want to look for a hot zone that could act as support for you. So this is an hour that we're watching. Then you want to look at a wick area. Maybe they want to go chase a wick and just meet it one more time. So identify your lowest wick as well. So what do you have here? Now you have a picture of solid support areas, okay? And then you have one little outlier level lower down that they might come and tag. And the bulls, ideally, what you want to do is you want to nibble at any moves into these horizontals if you are making the assumption that this is going to be a bullish announcement or things are going to be bullish. And that is the type of play you're going to be looking at for uni. So you can nibble at these nice horizontals, and the real move comes when you start breaking a trend. When you start breaking a trend, it tells us we might have a momentum shift, and the market might be climbing back in and things would be turning bullish again. So eyes on uni, track a trend. What you can do on Uniswap is actually set an alarm on a trend. So you can highlight the trend, and you can click the alarm button on TradingView, and once the token touches that trend, it's going to ping you on your alarm. So while you're watching Netflix with your wife, or while you're sleeping, it's going to ping you, and it's going to tell you if Uniswap is hitting a trend, or if it's losing a level, and things like that. So use that as a tool. Use it in your armory. Satyam says, why is the market dumping? We'll take a look. We'll take a look if it's dumping. But remember, sometimes we get big moves up, and then they flush out the late longs. People come in late. They want to buy green candles, and they want to use 20x, 30x leverage in places where they shouldn't really be buying them. And what inevitably happens is they come in late, they pump the market, and then they just dip it, and they take out the stops, and everyone makes a bit of fees, and you guys get wrecked, and then you don't come back until the market's green again. And I always say this every time. So maybe if you guys can just make me this promise, like, this is a bull market, as we can see, but you need to be here. You need to be on red days. The red days are the days you need to be hanging out with us. And I'm talking about me. I'm talking about Sheldon. I'm talking about Kyle. The red days are where you need to be hanging out with us, because that's where you're going to get your best entries. That's where the best levels are going to be. We normally get about 3 entries or 3 phases per bull move. And the first one is always a bear market dip, or a bear dip into a horizontal level where you are absolutely shitting yourself. That's normally your first entry. Then you get the trend break. That's your second entry. And then normally you get one more consolidation and pump. That's your third entry. And often I've noticed my views always go up by the time we're getting to our third entry. But the best moves and the best trades are always when the market is red, and you're feeling disinterested, and you're feeling uncomfortable, and you hate crypto. Those are the best entries. The third best entries are when you're loving crypto and it's green. Like right now, you guys are here watching on a very green, in a very green market. So do yourself a favor. Come hang out with me when the market is absolutely red, and then we're going to get you guys the absolute best entries. Yash gets it. Yash says the red days are the best. Voluntary Bit says BCH, another dust coin, looking good. If we've got time, we can check it out. Because dust coinery is a thing, okay? And we know sometimes these old dust coins can pump. Right, another one I've got for you, BONK. And this is actually interesting. This is playing out nicely now. And you can see they've actually done a little deviation here. This is like a little pump out of the range, and then they've sent it lower. So this is something to watch now. So BONK traders, 12-hour. Okay, we did see a nice little meme run yesterday. All the meme coins were popping off. If you're trying to buy meme coins now aggressively, you just need to be cautious, okay? So I'm playing around with a little BONK position right now. I'm just nibbling at the moment because I missed the main move, but I made a shit ton on this whiff trade yesterday and this morning. So I've got a little bit of extra juice to throw around at some of these things, and I'm speculating on a BONK position right now for the next big push up. But what I can tell you right now is this is a big resistance area, okay? So this is what we need to be watching, and that's a little rejection zone. So anything at the moment multiple zeros, 1436 is your resistance area to watch. And we play this exactly the same way we play the other guys. And I'm talking Sol, AVAX, and these things, which I'm going to show you shortly. If you are looking for bounce plays, you're looking for entries on BONK, you've got to keep it simple. Look for your horizontal zones, look where your fibs are tying in. And the first area I've got for you for BONK for a higher conviction support zone, first region, 1331. So multiple zeros, 1331. That is your first area. Then I've got a really strong zone here at the 618. I really like this area here. Multiple zeros, 1241. Okay, multiple zeros, 1241. That is your next hot zone, and you can see why. It's horizontals, it's a 50-day moving average, and it's a 618 fib. So if BONK's going to bleed out, that is where you're going to get your best buys, and that's going to be on the day when you're not watching crypto, you're not watching the trading shows because you're feeling the market is bleeding out. But trust me, on the days when the market gets here, that's where you're feeling you're most upset with crypto, and the 618 is normally where you slot your best buys and you get your best moves. So eyes on these two key levels here. This one, I think I said it was 133, and the next one was just above this 50-day moving average. Call it 1240 as your next big area. Now remember, the bulls, how do you play this if it starts running away from you? Well, if this starts running away from you, it's quite a simple move because you're going to grab it when it pops back on the retest. So if it does start running away from you, it's easy play. You want to just grab that support when it comes back to test this horizontal, and you can back test this idea as much as you want. You'll see it plays out so often. We get these breaks and we inevitably get these little retests on these horizontal areas, especially these big ones. And it doesn't mean, you're not going to get a chance. If the market runs away from you, there's always an opportunity the next day. You don't have to rush into these things. Mr. Vikings ripping off my shirt. Yeah, what's going on, bro? That's funny. It's a bull market, guys. We got it. We keep the buttons open. We keep the buttons open. We keep it loose. Jockey says he's buying more Coty. Look, I've heard great things about Coty. Absolute great things about it. Let's see what else we got. Celestia is getting wrecked, apparently. We'll do an update on Celestia. Remember, guys, we got to watch these levels carefully here. And let's see. Okay, so yeah, Celestia is okay at the moment. It's still holding that low from yesterday so far. So keep your eyes on that. If you are buying in the middle of this box, your risk is around about 1.5%. And then you can also play with your next potential area here, your next potential entry zone. So remember, bearish, if we lose that low, we close under that 16.68, it probably makes sense to jump out. So I'm going to bail out of that trade. We're going to let it consolidate, and then we figure out what the next play is, because if it doesn't pump today, it might pump in 2 days, but we just want to grab the best entry. So the next best entry, obviously, like I explained, is always when we get a trend break afterwards. So if we can't grab these little nibbly bits on these horizontals, we can always grab the momentum change that comes with it a little bit later. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Okay, let's do a BTC update, because I see people are saying the market is under pressure here. Okay, so we had a little bounce here. Nothing too serious so far. It's still front running this 236 fib currently. So just eyes on this 236 at the moment. Let's just watch this area. So you can see it is dipping down, but again, nothing unreasonable here for BTC. If BTC wants to come down to this 55,980 region, it's nothing unreasonable. And obviously that tends to put some pressure on these altcoins. So eyes on dominance, and watch how that plays out. Okay. Next one I've got for you, ZETA. Okay, so I know there's a lot of questions about ZETA, and they're always in the chats asking about it. So it's a layer one. I don't know much more fundamentally, but the guys are, they're kind of excited about it, and it is on their watch list. So ZETA, something interesting here. We did have a trend break. Okay, so we had a nice little flag forming here, and it was looking like we could get some action, and we did get this trend break, and we got our little rejection in this area. Okay, so nice little move there, and now we're just looking for this retest to play out. So ZETA traders, look for this retest here. That is really the move we're looking for at the moment. So a little bit more pullback we're looking for there. This is the 8-hour chart. So nothing wrong with a bit more of a dip down to about 2.4. You're looking at. So anything down to 2.4 is still relatively bullish here for ZETA. So it's just a typical trend break. We're looking for that retest, and the target for me is going to be 3.4. So that is an area of interest for me. And again, if the trend break doesn't hold, it means the market is turning a little bit bearish, and the trend then is not going to be in our favor. So then we reassess, we look, we pick things up where we are the next day, we look at our next levels, and we reassess where things are. So ZETA, look for this retest down to about 2.4. That is something you'd be looking at for a potential bounce with an upside target. 3.4 is what I'm going to look at. So Usman's asking for AVAX and Sol. I've got the twins here for you guys. I've absolutely got the twins. One more before we get to the twins. There was some news on this Heroes of MAVIA, or Heroes of MAVIA, whatever it's called. Some heavily overpriced game. Anyway, they might start getting some pumpage in the near future. They're making a big deal of their layer 2 chain choice on Tuesday. So maybe, I mean, guys, let me know in the chats, what are your thoughts? Where's it going to go? Which platform is it going to go to? Let me know your thoughts there. But the charts look pretty boring. Not much happening. A lot of consolidation at the moment. All I can give you as traders is good support areas that we can see. But remember, the longer these tokens sit on these support areas like this, the more flush outs can happen. So we need to understand that they could quite easily just come flush you down before they pump it higher, because remember, we're going to have a shit ton of stops here, and people are going to be long, and the stops are going to be piled up here. So they might come for a little stop hunt here on MAVIA. So if you are looking for a move here, I would say your best move is probably going to be to take a position where you would probably put your stop loss, to be fair, if they're going to come here and try and stop it out and then pump it higher. So keep your eyes on that. I'd say have it on your watch list, because we know there's a little bit of gaming hype floating around here, and you can also bang out a trend. Let's take a look at this here. Okay, you can also bang out a little trend there and see if you get some kind of move. So watch your main horizontal here down to about 6.7. Watch that area, and then just be aware that they could come and flush you here and just grab some of these stops before they send it higher. So don't fall into their trap. Don't be a statistic here. Don't let them come for you and win the game. We're here to beat them at their game. Okay, let's do the twins. Okay, so AVAX and Sol, they were looking quite interesting. So AVAX, so what did we get out of AVAX? What did we get out of Sol? We got a typical trend break the other day, okay, which was lovely. Gave us, telling us that there's a momentum shift happening and things could be turning bullish. And after we get a trend break, the first thing we always look for is a 382 or 618 retest to tell us that this market is still bullish. So if the market is still bullish, it's going to bounce at a 382, or it's going to bounce at a 618. Those are the plans we do. So we break a trend, we look for that 382, we look for that 618. So AVAX has pulled back into our first hot zone, and I'll show you why it's a hot zone. We've got our horizontals tied in nicely, and we've got our 382 pullback. So that is our first area of interest for AVAX, and our next bullish area of interest for AVAX a little bit lower. So first zone we have hit, and this is 38.3. So this is a potential reaction zone. This is a potential bounce zone for AVAX right here. And if we start bleeding out lower, your next hot zone you're looking at is going to be about 37.2. That is your 618. That's your 618 fib and some horizontals there. And you can see we've got nice tie-in on horizontals. So remember, after a trend break, it's perfectly normal to get red candles. It's perfectly normal to get a pullback. It's just how deep is that pullback going to be? It generally means if we've broken a trend that the market might be looking to start a new uptrend on these coins. Obviously, we can't tell when the uptrend is going to end. All we can work off is the levels that they give us and, some good solid reaction zones. So if the trend is going to change, it's going to react on the areas that we are looking at the moment. So phase number one for AVAX, we are in the zone right now. So if you're looking for longs here, you could nibble at a long here for AVAX, 38.3, and then lower down, you can nibble there at about 37.17. Both of them are potentially bullish areas and would indicate that we are in the middle of a new potential uptrend. So we'd be looking for something along those lines, and we'd ride this trend up And once we lose the trend, we turn bearish again, and we start the cycle, we start the process all over again. So that is the current strategy. Okay, let's look at Sol. Okay, so Sol, yeah, a little bit of pressure here, but a nice big break here for Sol. So I quite like that move. They did get quite aggressive with it, and at the moment this is a big zone now for Sol. Sol really needs to come to the party here. So what I'd say is watch Sol at this horizontal currently. You can see we've got an area of interest. It's trying to buy it up at the moment. So let's see where this current candle closes. If this candle closes above this trend in 382, then I would say we are okay here for Solana, but nothing wrong with a pullback here, nothing wrong with a flush out. Remember, there were so many late longers in the last couple of hours, and you know, you come in late, then you get flushed out. That's just the nature of the game. So let's see if this current region holds here for Sol. I would say 106 is an area you really want to now hold as support. If we do drift a little bit lower and there is further weakness here in the market, your next potential area for Sol is 104. So 104 is your next support region. And remember, this is linked for, you know, leverage traders and things like that, where a couple of dollars in the price of Sol makes a difference to your price or to your trade that you are in. If you are trading low leverage or spot, there is no real difference between buying Sol at 107 and 104 if you are overall bullish on the market. But if you are trading leverage, you need to be a little bit more greedy, and you know, that's where we look at these big reaction zones. So 104 hot zone, and 107, 106, if we can hold this region, then we should be okay. And you'll see that picture. If this thing starts pumping, you'll see by tomorrow the picture is, you know, bullish trend. It was a typical retest and it pumped. If things turn bearish again, well, we're looking lower down. We're looking at this 104 region, and then we're looking at the 50-day moving average at 101. That is our next area. So big levels for Sol: 101, 104, 106. These are your big levels for leverage traders. Stuart likes AR. Yes, I think I actually had that for you guys. Let's see what else we got. I know Run is a big fan of AR at the moment. Let's see what else we got. Let's see who's in the chats here. Lots of questions. Filecoin, 𝗔𝗜𝗥𝗑𝗘. What did I say I was going to check for you guys? Let's just make sure. Say and CAS. Let's just smash those quickly, and then we're going to look at the others. Okay, let's go Say. Let's just see where we are. Let's just get a picture as to what's going on with it. Okay, so I've got too many exchanges open here. Let's close some of these windows. Let's close these windows, yeah. Okay. Okay, so this was my setup that I put in Sniper Club. So guys, if you are interested in Sniper Club, it's a paid service. There is a link in the description. In the show description, there's a link there for Sniper Club. When you get there, you get trading signals from us. You get me and Sheldon in there. You get 6 or 7 Zoom sessions per week from the entire Sniper team that are available. You get airdrop access. You get step-by-step guides on how to make money using airdrops. Simon takes you through every move that you need to print money on airdrops. And then you also get my daily watch list of charts that I update every single day for myself, that I use on the show, that I use for my own trades and my own setups. I dump in the Sniper Club for you with levels, thoughts, ideas, and all these types of things. And this is one of the charts for Say that I dropped in the Sniper Club of an area of interest and where I was looking for potential longs for Say. So this would have been a typical setup. I would have dropped this, when was this? On Saturday at some point, maybe looking for a little bit lower. So now we've had a little pump a little bit earlier for us for Say, but what we can see is that we do have a little bit of horizontal support here. So if you can see this little tight range that Say is floating in at the moment, again, it depends on your style of trading. It depends if you highly leveraged or not. But what I can give you right now for Say is a nice little support. You've got a horizontal support here at 0.86. Okay, and that ties in very nicely with this current high. Okay, so here's the 8 hour, nice little high there. You can see support, resistance, and now it's broken up and we're looking for the support to hold here. So 0.86, that would be quite pleasant if it held that region. And if we lose that area, you're chasing 76. That is your next hot zone. I've even got alarms here. You can see on my screen. I've got alarm set on TradingView for that. So it pings me when it hits that area because it's such a smoking hot zone. It's a 618. It's a 50-day moving average. It's a trend and it's horizontal. So for me, that is a banger long area down here at 76. But if it doesn't get there, this is your interim support that you can work with. 0.86 is what you're looking at now. So ideally, you want to see this bounce from this react and bounce from this region and kick on. If it loses that area, again, look out down below and start planning for a potential bounce at this 0.76 region. Okay, let's just smash this CAS as well. Haven't looked at this in a couple of days. Okay, yeah, so CAS, yeah, gave us a bounce, the bounce. We were looking, when was this? Yesterday, they started with a pumpage. Okay, so CAS was looking quite bearish, and, you know, mind you, still got this bearish look to it. It hasn't cleared its right shoulder. So let me explain what's going on. This is a head and shoulders, and it's typically a bearish pattern. And I mean, it's quite funny. My mother messaged me and she said, yesterday I watched your show and I learned what an inverse head and shoulders was. Well, there you go. You know, my mother's now watching crypto. Retail must be coming back. And here's a head and shoulders on CAS that we're looking at. So eyes on this head and shoulders. This tells us that it's potentially bearish, and it indicates, unless we break this right shoulder over here, it indicates that we might be going down to this lower region, which I filled in here, and this chart is sitting in Sniper Club 0.147. That is the low that I was looking at for this head and shoulders. So how do we invalidate this? How do we say that it's no longer bearish? And how do we get rid of this negativity on CAS? Well, what you need to do is you need to blow that right shoulder. You need to invalidate that look. Otherwise, it's still in play. So what we want to see for CAS is a nice sharp move now. We really want to blow this horizontal. And you can see we've got this nice little resistance area. And a lot of resistance tells us at some point when we break it, that resistance area becomes a support zone for us to work with. So let's blow that area first. Then we can turn more bullish on CAS. But right now, head and shouldery until proven otherwise. And we will be invalidated if we blow this 0.1736 region. So let's break through that 0.1736 area. Then we are full on bulls again. Until that happens, where you're looking for bounces on CAS, you're looking for bounces 158 and you're looking for bounces 148. Those are your hot zones. Those are your areas. And you can see the picture, you know. But we've got strong order blocks here for CAS. We know there's a hot zone down here. It's going to be tough to break this area, this 158. So looking pretty strong for me, the 158 for now. And obviously, if things turn south and the market gets really dark and dirty, well, nothing's going to stop a collapse. So watch those areas. I see MAVIA chose Base from Coinbase as their preferred chain. Okay, and no reaction here from the market. So the market doesn't seem to care what they use at the moment. Let's see what else we got here. Telos. Wow, I haven't heard of Telos since 2021. That is a blast from the past. Okay, let's just see where we are. BTC, little bounce there again. BTC at resistance, bigger picture. Let's see where we are. ETH, okay, little bouncy here. XRP, okay, XRP still playing the game. Doge still playing the game. Okay, so yeah, let's see how things start playing out here. We could be getting a bounce. Let's just go through all of these. Look, Celestia, nice little strong bounce there so far. Again, and that is why I often say, wait for candle closes. You don't want to be panicking when you don't need to panic. Okay, so drifted down into our zone. Where did it react? And it reacted at that 16.68. And it's just another lesson. You know, these guys, they come and play games with you and they try and flush you out all the time. And, you know, they put you under pressure and then you start closing, panicking, closing, and then they bounce you. So just be aware of these tricks that they play, and always understand key levels. That is why I put these stops in specific areas for you guys, so you can see, you know, we try and dodge these little games that they play and try and cater for these things. So that is why we like that 16.68. So let's see. Again, it doesn't mean just because we got a bounce doesn't mean it's not going to go back down there. Okay, but what we do know is that it's a nice little reaction area, and Celestia has been lagging. Factually, it's been lagging, and fundamentally, I don't think anything has really changed. Unless people in the chats can tell me what has. But for me, fundamentally, nothing's really changed, and I would expect some kind of move. But remember, the best play is nibble in these areas, small little buys. When we crack big zones, the 50-day moving average, when we get those retests, that's when you can behave like a savage, okay? You don't want to behave like a savage when it's bleeding into things. You want to let it break first when you're in your position, let it come back and then retest, and then you can add to your positions and start getting a bit more aggressive. Okay, guys, sure. There's been so much action these last few days, and I'm not even getting to all of your charts. There's a question for Nia as well. Let's just get Nia out for you guys. See if I got something fun for you on Nia. Let's see what's going on here. So a big move in Nia. See if I got a different chart here. Okay. Very sweet that Nia almost listened there. Okay, so Nia, yeah, big move. Let's just clean this up. Let's see what we can look at here. We can pull that trend there. Okay, that's going to tie in with your horizontals. Let's see what we got here. So Nia, you just want to see where's your big support areas. If you've broken trends, where can you look? Where are your next buys? Where's your big support areas? And you can see that here quite quickly. We've got a 382 and a 618. That's normally your first point of call when you want to be bullish. That's where you're looking. Nice little tie in here. Look at that. Nice little tie in on this 382 for Nia, and then another hot zone for you. Okay, so your hot zones for Nia, areas you're watching, 3.76, next zone, 3.5. These are both bullish zones. So if you get a pullback into either of these areas, no reason to be bearish, okay, until we lose these levels. So look at these areas, no reason to sweat and things like that. These are bullish pullback areas, nothing to panic about. It's going to look really shitty on your P&L and those types of things. But remember, bullish pullbacks on all these coins, Sol, AVAX, Phantom, Nia, all these types of tokens. Nothing wrong with a 382 pullback after a pump. Nothing wrong with a 618. You'll see you're still up from 5 days ago. So you can't get too upset. Obviously, it's nice when these tokens go 10, 12%, but don't forget they'll come back 6 or 7% first. But you want to be net up all the time if we are going to stay bullish and things like that. So don't stress too much on these big pullbacks unless you're over leveraged, unless you're trading too much. Are you over trading? Are you in 500 positions in your app? I know you are, because I used to be like that. Okay, so I know you guys, you need to just be disciplined here. Lower leverage, smaller positions, look for big moves, and just take it easy. You know, we're starting a process here. We're starting a bull run. Don't get rinsed. You know, don't get rinsed. Just because the candles are green, you can still get rinsed. Okay, guys, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully we get these bounces off these nice areas. And again, remember, we move in cycles like this. Okay, so maybe 1 or 2 more bounces, and then we wait, and then we get some red candles. We start looking again for good entries, and we start the cycle and the process all over again. But if you hang with me regularly, you hang with Sheldon regularly, you hang with Kyle, and you come through these journeys with us, you know, you're going to take advantage of the best entries. Then you're going to get the second best entries and the third one. So just hang with us more. Spend more time. Watch the show on 2x. I know the music goes quite fast on 2x, but, you know, it's part of the fun. So, yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Trade safe. Later.